I'm Leah Lane, an award-winning travel writer and author of Places I Remember, Tales, Truths, Delights from 100 Countries. On this podcast, we share conversations with travelers about fascinating destinations and memorable experiences around the world. Travelers love France, and we've covered parts of it, including Paris in episode 1, Normandy in episode 18, and Provence in episode 94. In this episode, we're discussing a French region many travelers are less familiar with, the Dordogne region, also known as Périgord. Tucked between the Loire Valley and the Pyrenees Mountains, about 5.5 hours drive southwest of Paris, this is the heart of the French countryside. Medieval castles crown limestone cliffs, prehistoric caves show ancient art secrets, meals celebrate traditional farm-to-table. This is authentic France, and you'll find a deep, calm, soulful experience here. Our guests know the area well. Stephanie Williamson is CEO and founder of Raison d'Être Travel that plans customized itineraries worldwide. Emily Conyngham moved to the region in 2014 from the United States and owns a shop in Montpellier. It's a charming shop with all kinds of treasures from the area. Welcome, Stephanie and Emily, to Places I Remember.
Hi,
Thank
Lee.
you, Leah.
Well, first, tell us why the Dordogne region is also referred to as Périgord.
The easiest way to look at the region is to split it up in its 4 distinct regions, and they're all marked by color. So there's the Périgord Vert, which is the green, the Blanc, which is white, Pourpre, which is the purple, that's where all the wine is, and Noir, which is the black. And I think when coming to the region, that's the easiest way to give yourself a map and see where you want to go based on your interest and based on your time.
Is Périgord an older term than the Dordogne? Is it an ancient term, Emily?
Yes, it is. And it comes from the old Roman and Gallic words for the stone people. And that remains today because it relates to those people who are living in caves and the 4 tribes of Périgord who battled with the Romans.
Okay, interesting. And why did it change to Dordogne?
I always assumed it had to do with the river, the prominent river flowing through the area. There are several.
That is why a number of French departments have their names named after rivers. And this happened under Napoleon, who wanted a more logical and centralized way of describing places that wasn't so invested in local culture.
Interesting. Okay, so now we know why, but we'll refer to it Périgord, and that way it's simpler throughout this discussion. Now, you can get there in several ways. It's not the easiest place to get to, and that's what part of the charm. It's just so traditional. It's tucked away in the southwest area of France. You can go to the airport in Bergerac, I think is the closest one. You can take a bus from Bordeaux. You can take a high-speed train from Bordeaux, Paris, Lyon, and Toulouse. I know that. But I do think you need a car to get around the region. Do you agree with me?
Absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah, you'll find some train stations peppered throughout, but much of the magic of the area is all tucked away in the countryside and inaccessible without a car.
Yeah, I think the word magical, when I've been researching, I remember 50 years ago, I went through the area, not long enough, and it's absolutely charming, a tradition there that you can feel. And I think walking around the area or biking around the area would be absolutely delightful. We'll start with Périgord Noir. It's called that because of, I guess, the colors of the trees. Is that correct?
Yes, because the shade under the chestnut trees and the oaks is quite profound. It's well known for black truffles of Périgord, and get shipped around the world.
Tell us about Sarlat.
It is a great base in terms of the area. It is probably one of the more touristy regions, truffle shops and things like that.
Places to stay, right? I mean, this is why it's a good base.
Yes, that and its proximity. It's a good, just central spot, and everything in the area is beautiful. Obviously, it's France, but the village and town itself has already been featured in a lot of movies.
Emily, tell us some of your favorite places in the center, the historic center. It's really representative of 14th century France, I think.
Yes, it really is. I like Sarlat on Wednesday and Saturday, especially. Wednesday is the farmers market, and Saturday is the big giant market. So that includes crafts and as well as vegetables and things. So that is a big thing that I like. Also, there is a tower that has no door. And
Really?
that is very interesting, and lots of guesses of what that was for. There's just one window way up high, and the rest of the town was brought back to life by Andre Malraux in the 60s. He was the cultural minister. And my favorite part is the huge indoor market that has some magnificent 3-story high iron doors.
Wow. I know it has cobble streets, it's fortified, it has a wall, and it has gardens. What about those gardens?
Marqueyssac, you go on, Stephanie. You probably take your people there all the time.
Go right ahead, especially if you're right in that area. I love hearing somebody who's there every day in the thick of it. That is a much different perspective and honestly very helpful.
I love Marqueyssac, but I'm also a garden lover. It is not far from Sarlat, up on a plateau and right in the middle of all the other sites. And it's somewhere to go if you want to see topiary and also go for a walk and get away from everything else has to do with chateaux and buildings. And so this is an outdoor space that's fantastic. And it has views over the whole river valley. And the best time to go, in my opinion, is at the end of the day when all the hot air balloons come rising up all around this plateau. And I mean, it's really magical.
Oh, wow. That's a great tip. Love it. Tell me about Dom. Is that a city that you would recommend visiting?
All of the cities and villages, they all have their own personality, their own touch.
Well, there's something called the Golden Triangle and also the Seven Beautiful Villages. That's in the Noir. Is that correct? Where you can take a tour if you wanted to visit some of the more beautiful towns or villages. If you want to take time from 5 or 6 or 7 of them, you can find them in that region, correct?
And they're all very close together. You could see, 3 or 4 comfortably, and most importantly, have a nice lunch, 3 or 4 in one day. So if your time is limited.
Nice. Walk or bike ride. Perfect in a nice day. The caves are famous in the area. And of course, we know Lascaux, famous prehistoric site with cave paintings dating back to prehistoric times. But there are other caves as well. Tell us a little bit about the caves of that area.
Where people have been living for 50,000 years. And it's insane to see. You get these types of formation. Italy has the Etruscan caves. Every spot will have its own. Come to this part and see these dwellings and within the rock. It's crazy. And as you mentioned, Lascaux is there, which for anyone who's interested in history, I mean, I like history a normal amount. Even I'm like starstruck at the fact that
Tell
Lascaux
us
is right
about it.
there.
I think you can go to the museum and have a reproduction and walk as if you're in the cave, correct?
Yes, all of this history and all of this incredible prehistory is at anyone's fingertips right there alongside beautiful, charming villages, wine, nature. They do get very busy. The environment is delicate.
Better to go in early morning, late.
Yeah. Just earlier is always better. And then maybe not in the thick of summer.
Mhm.
Maybe try the fall or the spring or,
Right. The shoulder season. We always say if you can go in the
yeah.
shoulder season, that's best.
I
You know,
agree.
it's a wonderful addition to an area to have these prehistoric caves that are so famous. Okay, so that was the Noir. How about Périgord Blanc? It's known for its limestone cliffs, and I guess that's why it's the white color of some of the towns. Is that correct?
That's my understanding for the naming of that too. It's because of the limestone.
And what would we visit? I know there's a great cathedral in Perigueux. Tell us about some of the sights of that town.
So Perigueux is the capital of the region. There's a really nice chateau in Nuvik. There's just so much to see and do.
Right, there is. Because for a tiny area of the world, it's filled with museums, chateaux, caves, forests. It's just gorgeous. So I have read about the truffle museum. It's very interesting to me because the truffle industry is very big, and I know that they're called black diamonds because they're very expensive. How do you go on a truffle tour?
Yes.
There are plenty of small group tours. What I usually do with my clients is I like to pair them with local truffle hunters. That way you go with the truffle hunter, you go with their dog, and you head off into their spot. The truffle hunters are very territorial about their spots. So everyone has the spots that they know where the truffles are year after year. And so it's a great way to discover another piece of the forest, hear some stories, hear how it's been passed down from his grandfather, his father to him, how this is the third dog that they've been working with that's done this. It's a good way to add a little bit of culture and a little bit of humanity to your trip.
Great walk, too, I would think. Do you find truffles very often, all the time, or like Easter egg hunt? I've heard of pigs hunting for truffles. You're saying dogs. Is it French to have the dog and Italian to have the pig? Is that it?
Dogs are more common because pigs are very expensive to keep and less trainable. The pig is more likely to grab it and eat it before you get there.
I've heard they're smart. I've heard this. What kind of dog is a hunter for truffles?
A Lagotto Romagnolo, like poodles.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that sounds like a wonderful thing to do. That's on my bucket list.
I want to add one more thing for the White Périgord, one of the largest subterranean churches in France, in Aubeterre. And next to the one in Saint-Emilion, it's the biggest one. And it relates to this cave business, underground cathedrals that are just magnificent.
Fabulous.
All of the regions have so much. Black and purple get a lot of because wine and history, and white too. I'm in one of the best markets. The Isle River is right there. Along that, there's a town that still has the timber and Renaissance type construction. There's just a lot of authentic, cool spots to see, a lot to experience without being elbow to elbow with others who are trying to get that perfect picture. It's a good place to just go and be.
I agree.
Well, you mentioned purple, and that's, of course, the vines and the wine produced there. And so people do go there for that. And the wines that are famous, Bergerac, and there's a museum there about wine. And there's also a museum of tobacco. You've got all these wonderful vices in the purple area. What else? We have chateaux. Is there anything special that one should not miss? I have heard of the Chateau Langoisse, called the Unfinished Louvre of Périgord. I heard of it. It's a blend of medieval and Renaissance architecture and very beautiful, 15th and 16th century. Vineyards, of course, are all over. Lovely estates and places you can sample the wine. I'm sure there are many wine tours. Is that correct, Stephanie?
Yes, the main ones are going to be Bergerac and Marqueyssac, wine trails throughout. It's a great way to go. Beautiful scenery, and you get some incredible wine as well.
What kind of wine? Is it a sweet wine or a...
Montbazillac is a sweet white wine, and Bergerac is more known as red. And interesting about Bergerac and how it relates to Bordeaux. In the beginning, Bordeaux was where all the wine leaves France towards England. And all wine that came through the port was known as Bordeaux. And so the people in Bergerac area say, oh, our wine is as good as Bordeaux. They got the marketing right from the beginning.
Right.
So that's what they say around here.
Interesting. Very nice. The last day is the green area, Périgord Vert, for its great forests and beautiful greenery, walking area, nature.
The fact that we have green to me is very important and is a reason I live here, because it is a greener area of France. The Dordogne is green and lovely.
Yes, I know there's a beautiful natural regional park protected for hiking and enchanting settings, the castles and the manors and the abbeys, the landscape and valleys. There was an industry of spinning mills because of the water, old buildings that you can walk and find. And I love that when you walk and find an old industrial building and trees all around it, and you can imagine what it was like back then. That was an area for fabrics and so forth.
And also paper. And the town of Couze, Couze, was a medieval paper mill town. And one of the reasons was because the water is pH neutral. At that time, paper was made from rags. And so it relates to this spinning because all the shoots are taken to the paper mill and turned into paper. And they still exist today.
I did read that there's gold in the Dordogne River. You can pan for gold. Have you found any, either of you?
I wouldn't be here.
Found gold.
I know what I'm doing the next time I visit my mom.
I have a feeling it's a nice thing to do on an afternoon. We have to talk about the cuisine. It's so rich. We've talked about the truffles. There's also wonderful mushrooms and chestnuts and strawberries and foie gras. Tell us a little bit about what you would eat if you were going there, the cuisine.
Everything is delicious. The foie gras and duck is a really big staple. One of the regions where I can pretty confidently say that you don't need to have this whole list of restaurant recommendations in order to go. Pop into the little spots that are unmarked and you wander in and it looks like it's a locals only place and you're going to have the best meal of your life. Honestly, you could probably grab something from like a top of a trash can and it'd still be the best thing you've ever had, but it is a delightful place to eat and drink. It's a great way to
reservations. I mean, it's the locals I know love to go out and have a lovely lunch and so forth. Would it be a problem getting into these places or just walk in and take your chance?
I always say if there's a spot that you absolutely want to try, make a reservation. A lot of the places, part of their charm is that they're smaller. And so it's not so much that so busy because a ton of people, it's just that they don't have that many tables. Everything is home cooked. Everything takes a little bit longer. It's a little bit slower. It's just a different way to approach the meals, which is part of the charm. Get lost and find yourself eating with strangers somewhere, and I'm sure it'll be delicious.
With the proviso in summertime, I think you really have to have reservations, no matter where.
Interesting. Now, both of you are expats, is that correct?
Yes.
So tell us, a lot of people are talking about living outside of the United States and are curious. Why did you choose this area and what do you advise people about coming as an expat? Emily, why did you choose this area?
I came and spent 9 months in Southwest France and just fell deeply and immediately in love for many of the reasons you've already talked about. It's very traditional, perhaps less of a show than Provence. And this is not putting down Provence, but it's just a little more out of the way. So you get more chance for things to be real, natural. The people here are very nice. And for me, the cost of living is less, considerably less than Provence. And I live on very modest income. I can go down to either San Sebastian in Spain or down to the Mediterranean coast, which I do, say, for a long weekend. I'm halfway between Toulouse and Bordeaux, both very nice cities. As Stephanie said, you have to have a car here. I am seeing a wave of Americans come here now and buying houses. It's a great place. I do recommend learning to becoming comfortable with French.
Yes, I know there are many English-speaking people in the area. English people have been coming for a long while. There is a local dialect. Is it Occitan?
Yes, you're right. And this is important culturally as well as linguistically. It's more like Spanish and Italian, but think about where we are. But also culturally, the South always pushed against the North of France and it wasn't called France, and they didn't call themselves French. They called the people up there French. It's no longer spoken, really. You'll hear the accent a little bit.
Yes, but I think anywhere you move, obviously try to learn at least some of the language. And today there's technical help. You can learn, at least have a little bit of conversation. And it comes along as you stay. I know if you stay over 3 months, you get some health care benefits. There are all kinds of things like that that are very nice to look into. And it sounds like it's a good place. Yes, Emily?
Yes, the French government has just decided, don't get too excited about free healthcare. Non-EU residents who live here on a long-term basis will pay around 1,800 a year for the benefit of this health card.
Okay, that's interesting to hear. Thanks for that. Well, it sounds delightful.
It's very much a part of my heart, my soul, my family, my identity. It's beautiful to expose yourself to all of these different ways of life. You have one lifetime. Soak in as much as possible, all of the languages, all of the people. And to Emily's point, you have to learn the language. It's not something to be added to the to-do list just to communicate. It's really to immerse yourself and experience and be able to connect with people. Get out there, go and see what you can do.
We say here, do it, go do it. Well, the name of the podcast is Places I Remember. So, Emily and Stephanie, can you each share with us a special memory of this beautiful area of France? Stephanie, you want to go first?
My mother lives just about 40 minutes outside of Bergerac in a town called St. Bart's, Saint-Barthélemy. The area that her family is from, they had a farm there. And so now her heading back there from having lived in the more northern part has just been so incredible. And the very last time I went to visit this past summer, I brought my daughter with me and my baby for the first time. And then to see her outside the vegetable patches, playing with the chickens. It's just a place where you just stop. You stop, you breathe, a true reset and rest. I don't know that there are many places in the world that are like that. It's just by default, you have no option but to just breathe. And so I'm so grateful.
I agree, Stephanie. Whew, the slowing down. And as one French neighbor said, it's a human scale here. And my story is about a human encounter in the Jardin de Marqueyssac. I went one winter day and there was a man way up high in the roof beams. And he is placing lows in. Lows are these stone roofs that have to be at a certain pitch and that are common to the area, pretty much impossible to do unless you have giant money, which, Marqueyssac does. I said, wow, that's incredible. And what you're doing. And I'm down there and he's up there. He says, come on up. This was not America. He didn't tell me to sign a waiver, put a hat on or anything. So I went up in the roof beams and learned about his métier, which is each stone is fit in by hand. There is nothing even or mechanical. It's just know-how and has to be at a certain pitch. And each square meter weighs a ton. And this man is one of the last people to know how to put in a Lowe's roof.
Well, now you do too.
I could get a job. So it has to do with that human scale and slowing down.
But Emily, you went up. Yes, of course. You're a complete stranger. I want to talk to you. I want to hear from you. Let me see. And I love that. That's awesome.
A lack of age barriers as well.
Oh my goodness.
I have many friends who are little children and up to old people, and they come in my shop and we say hello and we talk. Actually, people come to me. It's just what Stephanie's saying. It's just more personal.
We'd like to come to your shop. What's the name?
Atelier Charmant. And that means my lovely studio. And it's because that's where I work on making my lovely life.
In Montpensier.
Yes, and that's the right way to say it.
Yes. Okay. Yes. I would love to come and visit you. I think some of the listeners will probably try to. Well, thank you so much. It's a gorgeous area, a little bit off the overcrowded tourist path most of the year, of course. It remains a destination to savor with all your senses. It seems to offer peaceful pleasure, history, beauty, fine food, wine. What's not to like? So Stephanie Williamson of Raison d'Etre Travel, Emily Conyngham, who lives in the beautiful town of Montpensier, thank you so much for sharing your corner of France with us.
Merci à vous, madame.
Merci.
Thanks for listening to our award-winning podcast. We've recorded over 100 episodes of Places I Remember, so follow us on any podcast app. And new monthly episodes are also on YouTube with gorgeous video. My book, Places I Remember, is available in print and Kindle, and I read the audio version. Follow my travel writing at Forbes.com. Contact me at the links in the show notes or on my website, placesirememberlealane.com, and keep making your own travel memories.